Hello, Nope Coach listeners. It's Suzanne Kohlberg. Welcome to episode 50. I'm just going to pause for a moment there and celebrate episode 50. That's monumental. When effort becomes effort. We've all had moments where we're like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and it's going to be great. And we make the plan and we start doing the thing, and invariably, sometimes a couple of days later, sometimes a couple of weeks later, sometimes only mere hours later, we're like, fuck it, this is too hard. I'll try again next week. I'll try again Monday, the universal day to change our lives. I'll try again when life settles down, when the kids are back at school, or when school finishes, or when, things are just smooth. Like, when does that ever happen? I can't be the only one whose child suddenly appears with an urgent project due tomorrow that they've known about for like a month, and you suddenly have to take a last-minute trip out to buy random shit like a hot glue gun and hope for the best, only to find out that their project is the shittest and then you cop it. But they're the ones who didn't tell you about it or give you the specs. And you're just like, fuck it. Before I dive too deeply into this is going live Monday, the 19th of June, which just happens to be Casimir's birthday. So happy birthday. I now have an 8-year-old. And 2 weeks from the time of this going live, the Mighty 90 is starting. Now, in the Mighty 90, it is a program where I teach captain's orders. And you might be like, well, what is this? It is a concept, it is a tool that requires very little effort. It does require you to show up daily, but it's not complicated. And sometimes in the simplicity, I think that's where people lose. It's like, oh, how can it be so easy? So what Captain's Orders is, it's a tool for manifestation. And before you tune out, go, oh, I'm not listening to this one. Manifestation Sue style. No fluff, no vision boards. No, I'm not knocking any of these things. If these are your jam, then, you do you. But to me, sitting around with a bunch of magazines, cutting out stuff and pasting on a board has never been my jam. It's more about setting a goal, setting an intention, something tangible, something clear, and committing to showing up daily to remind yourself of that goal. And there's nothing like doing it in community to help cement in that daily action. Now, the Mighty 90, if you look on my website, if you subscribe to my newsletter, you might not find it anywhere. Actually, you won't, because in this iteration, it's the first time I'm running it as a standalone program. The only way to access it is to sign up for the October round of Why Wait. So if you want to find out about Why Wait, go to suzannekohlberg.com. It is described in great detail there. There is what's included, how long it goes for, there's testimonials, there's all sorts of stuff. Why Wait is a fucking fabulous program. And it begins in October. So between now and then, I'm running the Mighty 90. For the first 10 people who sign up for Why Wait in October, they get the Mighty 90 as a bonus. So you're basically getting two programs, I should say, for the price of one. I'm deliberately not going into heaps of detail with the Mighty 90 because it sounds like a lot of effort then, and it really isn't. Because as the title of this episode is, when effort becomes effort. So it's a simple concept which I'll teach on day one, and then together as a group, we will commit to showing up for ourselves daily, and that's where the fun begins. Because I think for many of us, well, I know for myself and the people I work with, we often come up with a complicated system to achieve what we want to achieve. And it sounds great, but when the wheels fall off is in the actual implementation. And then we end up going to the next plan or the next program or the next coach or the next thing. And it really isn't that hard to achieve most of our goals if we actually do the work. Like, everything works if you work it. But it's the consistency of showing up, like, when it's cold or when you're tired or when you're doing that last minute run to buy something for your kid's project that's due tomorrow, or you're baking those cookies that you forgot that you volunteered to sell, or when you're, madly trying to get a stain out of a shirt because it's the last clean thing that you have, or when you don't have a, strategically placed scarf or badge to hide it or anything like that. And that consistency of showing up for yourself, that daily practice, we have it in other areas of our life. Suffice to say, we eat something every day, and we brush our teeth every day, we brush our hair every day, and we endeavor to put on clean clothing every day. So this Mighty 90 captain's orders to show up for yourself every day is truly the magic. So there's 6 places remaining at the time of this going live for the Mighty 90. It starts in 2 weeks, and I am super excited and love to have you join me. So today's topic, I've alluded to it already, but when effort becomes fuck it, have a think about what goal have you set that in the moment that you set it, when you maybe did create a vision board or write a journal entry from your future you, or just pause and dream, you're like, yes, this is going to be amazing. It could be a weight loss goal, an income goal, a career goal. It could be, finishing a degree or further study. It could be buying that dream house. I've been chatting to a few people recently about, who've been creating their dream house. So many things come to mind. And there's the version of you that you see who has achieved the thing. I've lost the weight. I've got the savings. I'm on the dream holiday. I've moved into the house. And then there's the you today. And the gap seems so far. And you make the steps. You're like, I'm going to start with this. Because even the most simplest thing, starting a podcast, creating a blog, we often have the vision, like we want to have done the thing. I don't want to be someone, this is so funny. This is day 50 of this podcast. So I have recorded this podcast for 50 days. I very rarely want to sit down and podcast, but every day I want to be someone who has podcasted. So your goal might not be something like this. It could be running. It's like, I don't enjoy the process of running, but I love the feeling of having ran. Writing. I don't enjoy the process of sitting down to write, but I love the process of having written. And when we put too many steps in, when we make the thing too much of an effort, is when we go, oh, fuck it, I'll do it tomorrow. And the thing never gets done. And in that moment of I'll do it tomorrow, of letting ourselves off the hook, I think that's the most dangerous thing we can do to ourselves, because procrastination, we're still intending to. I'm intending to take the action, but I'm letting myself off the hook. So my suggestion in how to simplify that is, how can you make your action so small that you can't not do it? If you haven't checked it out already, I did an episode earlier. It was called The Penny Principle. I can't remember what number it is, but scroll back, listen to that episode, because this is very similar. When you make the action so small that you can't not do it, you can't allow yourself out of the efforting into the fuck it because it's so small. So for me, recording a daily podcast, some of them are 3 minutes. They're not long. It doesn't take much effort. And realizing that they're not all going to be amazing. I did another episode called Sometimes It's Trash. So check that one out. But it's the consistency of showing up daily for myself. And for those of you who choose to listen, thank you very much. Captain's orders, the process I teach in the Mighty 90. It takes 5 minutes or less, but it's the consistency of showing up for yourself daily. Because even something like an exercise or a movement goal, you don't necessarily need to do a full workout every single day. But if you commit to doing some form of movement daily, of committing to doing that effort, then you don't get to the chance where you go, fuck it, let yourself off the hook, I'll do it tomorrow. And had you planned to exercise 3 times this week, and next thing it's Friday and you're thinking, shit, does 3 times today count? So my question for you today is simple. Where in your life have you thought that reaching your goal is going to require a lot of effort, and then made a goal But in the day-to-day task of moving towards that goal, you've been like, oh, fuck it, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it Monday. And what are you willing to shift about that to take some form of action each day? And maybe you've made the goal too big. Like, I know I have a couple of clients who are both working on creating blogs. And, it's kind of like, how can you make that task? How can you break that down to the smallest possible things? Is there ways other than the traditional way? Like, you don't even need your own website to make a blog. You can sign up for medium.com. I'm not affiliated in any way, shape, or form, but I know heaps of people. They already have an audience, and you just commit to writing something per day and hitting publish. What is your effort that results in you going, fuck it? And how can you break that down into something small? And if you want help with that and you join the Why Wait October round, will be one of the next 6 people too before July 3rd, come join me for the Mighty 90 and let's effort, as in actually take action together. Thank you so much for listening. I'm going to go and celebrate my son's 8th birthday. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.